We begin right here in New York, where former President Donald Trump's congressional allies are taking their fight to Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg's backyard with a field hearing they say is about crime. Democrats call it a political stunt, an excuse for Judiciary Chair Jim Jordan and other House Republicans to undermine Bragg's prosecution of Trump by painting the DA as soft on crime.
Here in Manhattan, the scales of justice are weighed down by politics. For the district attorney, justice isn't blind. It's about looking for opportunities to advance a political agenda.
Let me be very clear. We are here today in Lower Manhattan for one reason and one reason only. The chairman is doing the bidding of Donald Trump.
NBC's Ryan Nobles is right there covering this hearing for us from New York City. Also with us, MSNBC senior political analyst Matthew Dowd and Punchbowl News co-founder and MSNBC political contributor Jake Sherman. So take us inside the hearing, Ryan. How long did it last? How contentious was it? What did we hear and see? And what was the mood?
You know, Chris, I don't think it is out of the question to describe what we saw here today as somewhat of a circus atmosphere. You can still hear behind me, there were protesters both for and against this hearing today that were making a ruckus from the beginning up until the end. You saw very heated exchanges between the Republican and Democratic members on the panel, as well as the witnesses that were called before this panel to tell their stories. I just want to show you one example that gives you a pretty good idea of what this hearing was like here today. When Congressman Hank Johnson was doing his part of the hearing. Take a listen.
Like jackbooted thugs, they've descended on New York City using violent crime as their pretext. The MAGA Republican extremists are not interested in gun violence or even knife violence. The Republican witnesses who have used their time to criticize District Attorney Bragg have served as props in a MAGA Broadway production. The real purpose in coming to New York City. Can we have order? The real purpose in coming to New York City.
Gentlemen, we'll suspend.
Stop the clock.
Gentlemen, we'll suspend. For the audience, I've said several times now that the committee has to be in order. If anyone continues, then we're going to have to escort some people out.
Please don't talk that. Please don't talk down to us witnesses, please.
So that was just one example of the multiple interruptions that happened throughout the entire hearing. Behind me right now, you can hear as some of the witnesses and members are leaving as the hearing wraps up, that same level of passion and anger, again, from both sides of the aisle. But, you know, kind of the big elephant in the room here was the former President Donald Trump. His name did come up often. I talked to a number of Republicans as the hearing was going on, and I specifically asked if the indictment of Donald Trump hadn't happened, would you still be having this hearing? They insisted that it was about crime in New York and not about Donald Trump. But it's pretty hard to ignore the correlation here as his House allies try and provide him air cover and attack the District Attorney Alvin Bragg as he begins this prosecution of the former president. Chris?
Well, to that point.